Well, we're still with a big story for today, and we're talking about Nigerians' expectation, especially after that Supreme Court verdict affirming President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the winner of the February 2023 presidential polls. But apart from that very one, many also are calling for a new rebate, and not just that, but a great call for unity, especially among all Nigerians or those that really feel aggrieved about the last concluded elections. And all of that is what we're having as we also look at those expectations that many Nigerians are already calling for, especially from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, knowing that his job is now truly secured. But anyway, still helping us to secure the discussion is no other person but Emeka Wokucha. But we'll need to go on a break now and get a message from our sponsors. And we're talking about Benita-Gas, located right here in Ugedi, Okokoko, Warrior and Environs. And when we come back, more discussion center on the big story for today.
Follow Uno Road, auto better quality. If you dey talk gas matter, oh yeah, follow Beneta. Gas with the better quality, Beneta gas where they full rich man to Beneta gas. Only me brother na sharpal, Beneta gas no mago Beneta gas. Different type of gas cylinder, I be like that gas we go last you well, Beneta gas. Beneta now do Beneta gas service in a them they run Beneta make you carry go
for gas matter and home delivery. Make you wire Beneta gas plant for 080-6745-7890 and 080-5904-7722. Beneta gas plant, the tequila of gas matters.
Well, definitely that's Benita Gas, but you know, you can also jump on the train and come, let's see how we can really talk business, because the big story is big enough to accommodate all your businesses, goods and services. And you might just be on the train of one of the most listened program on the radio and television station right here in Delta State. But we're still with the topic, and we still have him right here. We're talking of no other person but Comrade Emeka Wokucha. Let's quickly go back to it, because we'll have a lot of questions. Now, the Apex Igbo Socio Cultural Organization, Ohaneze Ndi Igbo, just day before yesterday, called, or after the judgment of the Supreme Court, called on the People's Democratic Party candidate in the last election, Atiku Abubakar, and also his Labour Party counterpart, Peter Obi, to both close ranks and work with Tinubu, just as former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan worked with former President Muhammad Buhari. And after every other thing, he undermined, they never even went to the Supreme Court. But my question now, do you truly see that happening? And the reason I'm asking, because definitely we know Atiku Abubakar is going to give a world press conference today, yes, in response to the Supreme Court verdict, and also this recent call from the Igbo Social Cultural Organization and others that he should unite, close ranks and work with Tinubu. Do you ever see both of them closing their ranks and working with him?
Yes, I see it happening.
Okay.
It could happen and happen expressly if Nigerians would engage them.
Okay.
You know, we are human. You know, at times when you feel cheated in a race. Mm-hmm. However, the Supreme Court's judgment remains, you know, the standard of our, you know, discussion, yes, because it remains valid, right?
Yes.
So Nigerians will have to now engage them, because we do not have any other country other than this. Like I do say, and we are not ready to pull that structure down today. Mm-hmm. We are not ready to say Nigeria will no longer exist. So in as much as this country will exist beyond now, it is the possibility of every person now to come together. They have actually made a very, very important remark in the Nigerian political scene. And again, if the faults cannot be healed now, cannot be actually fixed now, we expect them now to bring their own initiative, you know, come together and let the man at the saddle, you know, have the open heart, you know, to receive them. Because the issue of this country is beyond one person. Nigeria is the project that all of us here are making every effort to protect, to say that it does not implode, going by the enormous challenges the country is bedeviled with. So the call is that every good citizen, every good spirited Nigerian is, whoever it is the opposition party, please, now that the storm is over, we have had enough of litigations, which has apparently eaten into, the timeline where we expect the president to really perform. Let us now shield our sword. Let's come together now and move this country forward and plan towards the next election coming. The issues we have discovered now, we should begin to engage them, begin to engage the institutions, begin to engage everybody, and ensure that the changes are seen to be done, or the process of bringing about the changes is seen to be, a kind of activated, so that at the end of the day, when we get to the next stage, there won't be this period of lamentation any longer. Okay. So we would have been able to solve the problems and ensure that our electoral system is cleansed from all these errors, so that we can have a credible electoral system and credible leader, which we are clamoring for over the years. I think that could happen if we give him the support.
Okay.
Yes.
Now let's leave that and rather come now to the request of leaders and elders from the southeast, south, southwest, and the middle belt and region, represented by Ohaneze Indibo Worldwide, Afenifere, Palm Niger Delta Forum, and the Middle Belt Forum, when they called on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to focus on restructuring Nigeria for democracy, or rather to save democratic principles, as they said it. And they made this call after giving him off a congratulatory message after the Supreme Court verdict. Now, the issue of restructuring has always been on the front burner, and it even became loudest, especially after the 2014 confab.
Yes.
And many will also argue that the issue of restructuring was often what brought the APC into government, because they made that as part of their campaign promise. And even they went further to form up a committee which was headed by no other but the former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai. But my question now will be bordered. I have two questions bordered on this issue of restructuring. Now, my first question is, do you feel really restructuring will change the fortunes of this country and also help protect that democratic principles as being stated by the elder statesmen? And my second question, which is more of a direct question, do you see President Bola Ahmed Tinubu fulfilling their wishes on a call for restructuring?
Yes, Mr. Mike, restructuring, yes. Any person who would not advocate for restructuring, any Nigerian, let me put it that way, is a danger to the Nigerian democracy. What these elder statesmen have come to do or say is to re-emphasize, what Nigerians want. See, I do say here that what is the purpose of governance? Whose bidding is the president doing? Whose biddings are the National Assembly members doing?
It should be Nigeria.
Do you know that?
Yeah.
If you look at the constitution of this country, Chapter 2, under the fundamental objectives and directive principles of state policies, it tells you that the Federal Republic of Nigeria shall be a state based on what? The principle of democracy and what? Social justice.
Social justice.
Do you know what that means? So, if all of us believe that we are serving in line with the constitutional provisions of this country, which is the sacred book upon which the sovereignty was engineered, conceived, run, then why would you do otherwise? The restructuring thing shouldn't be offensive. If you even go by the definitional meaning of restructuring, it's not offensive. It's changing a system, the old ways, bringing a new pattern to making an entity or whatever, function effectively for the good of everybody. So the restructuring thing is supposed to be an acceptable narrative. But any person that will not key into restructuring, just know that he belongs to the clouds of greedy, selfish Nigerians who do not want this country to grow.
But some certain persons and regions seem to express their fears, and they have their reservation on account of what would be the outcome of such call? That's number one. But you say you feel there's no need for the fear. But how can you really put down that fear that these persons have on account of restructuring?
Mr. Mike,
because that's what the board of protection is.
Let me accept the truth. If the citizens actually used to demand or like demand for good governance, you know that many of them there that parade themselves as whatever name will not be there. If we are really conscious about seeing this country move in line at the same pace with global other countries that are making progress,
yes,
you know that some persons who are masquerading as leaders will not be there. What fear are you expressing? Governance, I liken it to be a whole bag of problems awaiting solution. If you do not have the solution to the problem, why are you there? Look at, I have told you here, Singapore. Here, when it got its independence from Malaysia in 1965, Lee Kuan Yew, Singapore was a barren country. But given a leader that has a magic wand to turn things around, after 3 decades, where Singapore is, you cannot even measure it. So it is all about a system restructuring, which ordinarily your federal system of government,
yes, already,
is even built on. We are only coming to emphasize that, yes, are we a federal state? Yes. Why would you not practice a federal state? So if we are saying that we are a federal state, then practice a federal state because it's still the federal system that brought you to governance. The electoral system, all of them are keyed into the presidential system of government. So why would you not throw away those critical aspects, elements that will make federalism work? What kind of fear are you exercising? See, what runs a state mostly is not in the resources. What runs a state is in the initiative of the leaders. Most countries today in the West, that are blazing the trail, they don't even have resources, Mr. Mike. So that is why I'm even telling you. And even look at it, countries that have the resources in Africa, how well are they doing? So there should be a departure from the old order that if it's who told you that there's no state in this country, let me tell you, that does not have 1, 2, 3, 10, 5 mineral resources that can run the state. If the initiative of their leaders are gotten right. So only what we have here is we have a people who do not have the mental capacity, who do not have the foresight, who do not have the intuition, who do not have the initiative, who do not have the magic one to right the roads, to chart a course for development. So when you mention the structuring, the fear is this going to Abuja to collect a handout will no longer be there. That means our future is doomed. Who told you? All the handouts have been collected over the years. To what good have you put them? See, governance is a challenge. In the 60s, going to 1963, where we have regional governments, Mr. Mike, would you rate the rate of development then
compared to now?
To now that we have oil in abundance.
On a central means of government.
It is not all about oil. Nigeria has oil. Nigeria cannot refine petroleum products. Nigeria is rated among even the poorest in the world. All the indices are pointing towards a first state which we are fearing, which we are very, very afraid of. So the issue is not about resources. It's not about the Niger Delta oil. Oil is all about good leadership. If you know you have the initiative, every state in this country is as rich as the other. So it's all about good governance that will drive the progress of the nation.
And bring about development.
Let me reemphasize. Restructuring is just a word with many branches. When you say restructuring, institutional restructuring, financial restructuring, judicial restructuring, fiscal restructuring, even the human being restructuring. So if you look at it, they should not be looking at it from the resource angle. It's all about
all restructuring.
To reset this country and to reset ourselves.
Okay.
We can jumpstart development on a very clean pace. That's what socially means.
Because of time now, let's quickly leave what that very call from our elder statement saying on account of restructuring. And let's come to the basic issue that we're having this discussion today. And it's more like Nigerians' expectation from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, especially after that Supreme Court victory. I know Nigerians, one of the major things they would really seek for now is an improved economy. That's what we were looking for now. And you will really agree with me that the economy seems to be taking a direct hit, especially as we are now seeing that the Naira is more of on a free fall, and the resultant effect of this free fall of the Naira. And with not even matching words, Nigerians are going through a difficult time to survive. Yes, and funny enough, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu seems to know that. Yeah, because he said in a statement yesterday, when he received the German Chancellor in Aso Rock, he said Nigerians' economy is crawling. At the moment. He said that yesterday when he paid, when he received the Chancellor of Germany himself. But my question is, what do you feel he needs to do now to make us crawl out of the difficulties we are in already?
Good.
As it concerns the economy.
Yeah, there are two things there. If you listen to me, I did mention it for you. All of us could be presidents. All of us could adorn the gap of presidency. All of us could be designed as the number one man of the country. But it goes beyond that. See, if President Bola Tinubu actually have what it takes to take this country out of this dungeon, navigate us out of this dungeon, which he knows quite well that the economy is crawling. For me, the Nigerian economy is not even crawling. The Nigerian economy is standstill. It's not even moving, Mr. Mike. Because what you mean today, tomorrow, you discover that it's even getting worse. Crawling means movement is being made. Nigerian economy is not making movement. We are retrogressing. The movement is backward. So, crawling, you should define the crawling. Is it backward crawling or forward crawling?
By the way, it's not at a standstill.
The economy,
okay.
Is it the standstill?
At a negative trend. We're not arguing about that.
So, but what I'm saying in essence is that what he should do, the challenges are enormous. He shouldn't be, see, in the Aso Rock, I expect that he shouldn't be sleeping now. If he has the heart of a true Nigerian who feels the pain of the people, empathetic leader, the lives of Lee Kuan Yew, the lives of Manibu Julius Nyerere, the lives of Mandela, if he has it, President Tinubu should not be sleeping in Aso Rock, because a man whose house is on, whose roof is on fire does not sleep. The Nigerian situation is likened to a dying man that needs a surgical operation, a very urgent one. Now, let him galvanize the think tanks within and outside this country and begin to fix the deep problems with commitment, with patriotism, with zeal, starting with the energy sector.
Yeah, because that's where I was going to. Because let's look at it. Yeah. Yesterday, when the German Chancellor was also briefing Tinubu, he talked greatly about helping Nigeria out with the issue of power and the energy he means. And he said he can even give us cheap energy that will even not only transform Nigeria, but even transform West Africa. And everybody will agree that the major crisis, we seem to be going around in circle if we do not deal with the issue of energy, especially with the rising cost of gas and petrol. So do you really see him helping out? I'm talking about the German Chancellor, Olaf Scholz. Do you see him really helping out to help us deal with the issue of energy? And do you see that help that will truly transform this country if being allowed to?
They say any person can help. See, if German wants to help Nigeria, it's not going to be a Father Christmas thing, right?
No,
there will be
not at all.
costs involved.
Of course.
Yes, they are there to make money. They could, if your government is sincere. Let me tell you something. Yesterday, I saw when the Minister of State for Petroleum visited Kaduna Refinery. I haven't had any, privilege to even see Kaduna Refinery on television, as in the size, the purpose nature, and the infrastructure there. When I saw the refinery, when we were driving through the refinery, whatever, I wept for this country. Do you know what? I said, you mean this country could have this kind of factory, industry, or whatever you may call it? and they leave it comatose. They leave it moribund. That refinery, when activated, could take 5,000 workers out of the society. Now I was asking, are Nigerian leaders, do they even know? If they know that such a massive investment was lying fallow, unattended to, and they are happy, and they are moving, and they are taking their salaries, and they are actually functioning, it beats my imagination. When I saw it yesterday, and I discovered our own situation is more of a sabotage. I don't fear whose ox is God. I don't mind. It's sabotage. If it is not sabotage, if you want to tell me you are endowed, I will ask you your endowment. How practical have they been? If you cannot prove endowment practically, theoretically, I will say you are not endowed. If Nigerian leaders are telling me they have the knowledge, the initiative to run the Nigerian economy and to take off out of this wood, the person will be asking, what are your policies? Are you following them through? And what will be your achievement after 4 years? So if nothing could be attached, you were just there, sitting, romancing the office without making any impact. And that is what I liken to the Nigerian presidents over the years. That our refineries were there, our steel industries were there, lying fallow, and they are not doing anything, and they are happy, drawing salaries. See, only that enough is enough for Nigerians to go to the polls, you know, and say such calibers of persons cannot really take us to the promised land.
Okay, I need to take us. I need to take us on a break now. I'll plead with you to hold on.
There should be a departure from the old order. Okay. I do tell you that he should wear his helmet,
I'll plead with you.
And go to the site and walk.
I'll plead with you. We need to go on the break.
We need a leader that has.
I know the energy and the pain you were expressing about it, but we need to go on a break now. And when we come back, we'll continue our discussion centered on our expectation, especially knowing that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu finally secured his job, especially with the victory from the Supreme Court. Let's go on a break.